Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Well, it's August in Texas, and what does that mean? That means it is super hot. And what do we do when it's super hot? We stay inside and we color. So I've got a super fun color along from Summer Nights, the Beehive page. So meet me on the other side and we'll get started. Alrighty, here we go. So this coloring page is from the Hanna Karlzon book, Summer Nights. And it's page 53, and I start counting this as page 1. So starting with this as page 1. If I counted correctly, this should be page 53. So this is a little bit of a different color along for a couple of reasons. The main reason is that you can see here, I didn't even put the individual pencils in these boxes because I have so many, it wouldn't fit. And I'm pretty sure that even if I had 2 rows, I'd probably need 3. So what I did was I just listed the colors and the pencil numbers down here below. The second thing is that because of how many Prismacolors I used, I thought it would be really difficult to convert all of these across 6 pencil brands. So there are no pencil conversions for this one. If you really want pencil conversions, please let me know and I'll do my best. Sometimes some of the pencil colors and our pencil sets are so nuanced, it's hard to find a similar color in another pencil set. And so when that happens, I just kind of give you a best guess. So you're gonna lose a lot of these nuanced colors doing that, but let me know. And if I've got time, I will try to put something together, maybe for the more popular brands like Polychromos or Chromaflows, whatever. Secondly, because of the way this page is done, there's no background. Well, this is the background, but this is also the coloring part. So here below in the background section, I'm giving you my steps on how I created the gemstones. So we'll walk through that. And then also lastly, the outline that I used in the honeycomb consists of 3 different glitter gel pen colors. So we'll walk through that as well. Apologies once again for being fairly absent. I had to have a full hysterectomy last week, so I've been a little out of pocket. Everything's great. I'm fine. I'm recovering really well, but just letting you know. I have also been in a bit of a coloring slump this summer, so I'm really trying to get back into it, and this page has kind of helped me get my mojo back a little bit. So thank you again for all of your patience and understanding. As you know, I think with all of our hobbies, we all know how it sort of ebbs and flows over time. So I'm getting back into it. I'll probably keep concentrating more on color alongs than tutorials right now, just to keep things going. So I hope you enjoy this one today. With that, let me go ahead and get started, and I'll start talking about these hexes in just a second. I'll be right back. Okay, before we dive into the individual hex colors, it's very difficult for me to randomize something on purpose. So originally I wanted to just kind of randomly place the colors, but then I realized that's too hard for me to purposefully randomize colors. So what I did was I came up with a pattern, and you can see the pattern here. Let's see, so we start out with here's, let me find a good place for it. Probably here. Here's the brown color, then pink, then yellow, then a pinky orange, then more of an orangey pink here. So there's only 5 combos, but you'll see they go in that order, and you can see how they repeat from one line to the next. You can see the brown comes down in like a diagonal, the next yellowish, pinkish, orange comes down, things like that. But you'll notice the pattern as you're coloring through. So that's why I left these 5 here to color these 5 hexes in a row, and it will be the same pattern here with these 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And they will align with 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here on the cheat sheet. And I think that's it for the hexes. So I just wanted to explain. I wanted to make it random, but it was hard to make it random on purpose, so it's patterned. But it looks random if you just kind of glance at it. Okay, with that, why don't we start with combo number 1. So that is beige and with a little white over it, nectar, burnt ochre, and chocolate. So let's talk about, actually, let me zoom in and I'll be right back. Okay, if you look at how I've architected each hex, it's going from dark to light from the outside in to kind of give it an illuminated sort of look. So the way that we're going to color these, so again, it's a 4 pencil combo, and this one starts out with beige. We're going to do these all in the same way. So I'm going to start out by just coloring a big beige circle in the middle. And it just absolutely does not have to be perfect. Just make it a beige blob. Then next, I'll take our second color, which is nectar. And now with the nectar, I'm going to go around the hex. I'm just kind of doing up and down circular motions. And what I don't want you to get hung up on, number one, is getting into the outline, because we'll fix that later. But number two, how far in do I go, Kim? I want to make it perfect. Don't worry about that. It'll look good no matter how far in or not how far in, if that makes sense, that you decide to go. So just making kind of a circle with that second color here. And you can see it almost looks more like a square. Don't worry about that. Third color, burnt ochre. So now we're going to probably cut that part in half right there. And now I'm just definitely making little bitty circles here around the outline. And y'all, these are so easy. Oops, you know what? I'm sorry. I've got my book leaning against the camera and I wasn't even looking to see if it was probably moving it without me realizing it. So I'm holding it with my left hand over here. Okay. Last is the chocolate. So now on the last color, which will be your darkest, I'm just kind of coloring a dark outline here. Okay, and if I apologize if you can hear Mr. George in the background. He's working in his office. I'm rolling this during the day since I'm off of work, so I have daytime time to kill, so that's why I'm rolling this. Okay, so now we're going to go back to color number 3, and we're just going to do little circles again, and now we're sort of blending it into the dark line that we just made here. Again, this is really easy. I try to make these as easy as I can for y'all. Color number 3 is the nectar, and again, we're just blending into the blending 2 and 3 together, really. Nectar and the burnt ochre. And again, you can see that it's not a perfect circle. Who cares? We don't worry about perfection here, right? We value fun over perfection. Last, beige. So this is going to be, we're going to use our lightest color as our blender pencil. So we're going to use beige and just start blending it all together. And that's going to really, that's where the magic happens, when you blend it all together with that last pencil. And there you have it. That's hex number 1. Actually, I see a little line there. As I say, fun over perfection. Look what I just did. So that's hex number 1. Let's move on to hex number 2. I'll get my pencils and be right back. Hex number 2 is going to be the pink one. We've got from the outside to the inside, process red, hot pink, blush pink, and deco pink. All right, same process. Let's get started. I'm going to take the lightest color, the deco pink. And again, we're just going to make a circle here. Or a blob. We're going to make a blob, just a deco pink blob. Then next, I have blush pink. And again, we're just going to kind of bring that up into the deco pink. And some of these colors, you can see here, there's not like a huge contrast between them. Some do have that, some don't. It's okay. But what I want you to do, my goal for these videos is for you to let go and just have fun and not worry. That's why I try to break it down for you. Okay, hot pink. So here, hot pink will cut the blush pink in half. This one is almost ready for a pencil extender, but I will use these until they're almost nubs before I stick a pencil extender on them sometimes. Okay. And, this is one of my favorite pinks in the Prisma set, by the way. Okay. Lastly, we have processed red, and remember with the outline, the darkest color, we're going to outline that hex. Hexagon. Every time I say hex, I think hexadecimal because I am a technical person. I have a technology job for a living, so I try to remember hexagon, not hexadecimal. Okay, I know, nerd alert. All right, going back to hot pink. So again, we're taking the hot pink and now see how we're just doing little circles to blend it into the dark outline. Super easy. And I hope that this is a fun page for you. For me, it was really, really kind of a zen page because, you know, when you get into a coloring slump, there aren't any coloring pages that look appealing to you. And I thought, well, what would be a page that I can just kind of mindlessly work on without stressing about a background or anything else like that. And so that's how I landed on this page, because there is no background stress. I don't have to figure out, do I use Neo colors? Do I submit to the ever ominous colored pencil background? How am I going to do that? So this was the answer. Okay, with that, Hex 2 is done. Let me get my pencils and we'll come back with the yellow combo. I'll be right back. For Hex number 3, we have cream, jasmine, yellow ochre, and goldenrod. And you'll see with the pattern, the one that's open that I'm working on is up and to the left one. So if you get lost, go up and look to the left, and that's the one that we're doing next. So for the yellow, I'm starting out with the cream. Again, we're just going to make a big cream blob here. Next, I have jasmine. Getting some pencil crumbles there. Okay. Yellow ochre. So this is where we're going to go in kind of halfway and just kind of color along the bottom a little bit. And if you color a little wider here, that's totally fine. Again, there's no right or wrong way to do this. It will be perfect and wonderful. Lastly, goldenrod. And again, this is going pencil nub almost. This is when we're going to color the dark outline. Back with the yellow ochre, and now we're blending the yellow ochre into the goldenrod line at the bottom, or on the outside, I should say. Jasmine. And then lastly, we have the cream, and the cream is going to be the blender pencil for the entire hexagon. One thing I failed to note, and I did put it on here. Let's see. See how I say beige plus white? So what that means is sometimes the hex came out a little, the beige is a little darker than I'd like. So at the end of it, I'll take a white pencil and lighten it up just a little bit. Just like that. I don't do it on all of them. I do it on 2 in particular. So the first one, and then the hex we're about to work on next, hex number 4. So let me get my pencils for that and we'll come back and talk about it. Hex number 4 will be eggshell, deco pink, pink, and pale vermilion. Okay, so here I've got the eggshell. So you can see how it's a little darker than some of these other colors. So we're going to do an eggshell blob in the middle. Okay, next I have deco pink. Regular pink, and this is where we'll go about halfway. We'll cut the deco pink in half. That's what I mean when I say we're going in halfway. And you can see here that I probably covered more of the deco pink. It's totally okay, because we go back over it with a second application anyway, so it does not matter. All right, so there's regular pink. Lastly, the pale vermilion, which I think makes this so pretty. And because it's kind of unexpected, you would expect to go in with another pink here, but not me. We have to keep it real. Okay, so that gives us our sort of orangey outline. So now taking the pink, what do? We blend the pink into the outline, right? So blending the pink into the pale vermilion. Okay. Now we've got the deco pink here. Lastly, we'll use the eggshell to blend it all together. I don't know, I think you can probably hear Mr. George. It's so funny. I love his laugh. Okay, here's white. And that's hex number 4. So let me get my supplies and we'll come back and color hex number 5. Hex number 5, we use Deco Peach, Pale Vermilion, Process Red, and Magenta. I think this is my favorite combo, and in fact, I think this is the first combo I created when I was coming up with ideas for this page. So I'm sorry about the curling up here on the side. I find that when I do an entire page in colored pencil, it tends to curl the page. Okay, so start out with Deco Peach. Then I'm moving to Pale Vermilion. And again, I hope you guys aren't upset with me about the lack of color conversions on this one. I just really wanted to get something out here to you guys to work with, have fun with. And sometimes I struggle, even like if I only have 8 colors on a page, sometimes I struggle to find that really good conversion for you. So I just thought, gosh, I don't even know how I'm going to convert all of these, like nectar, how I'm going to convert nectar into other pencil sets. So again, let me know. It's okay if you're upset with me. I can take it. But let me know which pencil brands you like to use, and I can't make any promises on timelines or that I will get them right, but I will try. Okay, lastly is Magenta. We just did the Process Red for the outline. All right, so there's that. Go back to the Process Red, and again, we're just blending the Process Red into the Magenta, which is the outline. We don't have to do a lot here because it already kind of blends really well together. Next, we'll pick up the Pale Vermilion, blend that into the Process Red. Lastly, Deco Peach. And Deco Peach will be our blender pencil to blend all of these colors together. All right, that's it. So now we've completed the colored hexagons. So next we are going to color the bees, and I will be right back. So let's take a look at the bees, and I realized that they kind of look like houseflies with the way I colored them, but just go with it. Pretend that they're really incredible looking bees. So I wanted to do something. Originally I thought, how do I make the bees pink and orange and yellow to match the background? But then I realized they might blend too much with the background. So I wanted to pick something completely different to make them stand out. So that's why I did the bees in a light aqua slate gray color combo. And also you'll see that the gemstones go with the bee colors pretty much. So the bee wings and the bee head consists of white, light aqua, slate gray, and black. So you'll see here on the bee wings, we're going to go light aqua. Make sure that's in camera. Light aqua to slate gray to black, and then we're going to come over the light aqua with the white. And we're going to do the same thing on these, like the head and this, maybe it's a shoulder section, I'm not sure. The antenna and feet are all straight black. All of these details on the bees are straight black. And then we'll use a white paint marker to do the white outlines after that. But let's go ahead and get started on the bee wings. Okay, so like I said, we're going to start out with the light aqua. And we're just going to color all of this in. And we're going to color probably about 3/4 of the wings. And I'll do both wings at the same time. Keep it simple. Okay, and I'm coloring over the circle. Don't worry about the circle because we're just going to go over it with white paint marker anyway. So now I'm adding the slate gray and I'm blending over the bottom of the wing and the bottom of the light aqua. Okay, now I'm going to take my black and I'm just giving like a little bit of an outline here at the bottom, just going around that corner with the black. Oops. Now I'm going to go back up the other way. So I've picked up my slate gray and I'm going to blend the slate gray over the black and back up towards the light aqua. I really want to get a good blend between the slate gray and the black, as much as I can. We're going to come in again with the light aqua, and we're going to take the light aqua all the way down to the bottom of the wing and start blending it back up this way to the top of the wing. So I'm coloring pretty heavy and pressing down pretty hard to blend all these colors down at the bottom, but as I move up to the top, I'm just kind of getting a little lighter with my application. You can see it's more like a gradient. And that's because we're going to use the white to blend all of that out in just a second. So again, on the other wing, using the light aqua, pressing down pretty hard to blend all of these colors together. Yeah, I realized because I thought, oh, that'll be a really nice contrast, like a bluish black for the bees instead of a traditional yellow and black. And then after I finished them, I looked back and thought, ew, those look like houseflies. So I'm sorry, but feel free to color these however you like. All right, so now I'm taking my white and I'm going to use the white like a blender pencil to smooth out all of those little white spaces that are poking through. I'm going to come down most of the bee wing. I saw some people online had made their wings translucent, and if you wanted to do that, you just need to take like a fine liner marker and continue the design underneath the wings. I was too lazy for that, but I appreciated the artistry for that. Okay, that's the wings. We will do the white outlining at the end. Next, we're going to do the, the bee body, which is just white, slate gray, and black. You might recognize this from reverse color along number 1. Again, I know I keep going back to this combo, but I absolutely love it. So we're just going to go with it. So all these little sections here, we're going to color the same way. We're going to color all of these little sections with slate gray. This is definitely one of my favorite colors in the Prisma box. Next, I'm going to come in on the edges with the black. And you can kind of come down over these little details because those are going to be black anyway. This kind of implies a little bit of a shadow here. And then at the bottom, just on this little section here, there's not much to work with at the very tip of this little guy here, so we'll just leave that alone. Then I'm going to come back in on the sides and blend with the slate gray a little bit more, not in the middle. We want to leave the middle rather light since that's going to be what we use with the white pencil. Okay, so now we're going to take our white pencil. We're going to come in and just blend it all together. And you can see what it does. It gives us a nice little light, translucent kind of effect right down the middle. And again, down the outside of the wings, you can just kind of come in and darken that a little bit. Okay, now on all of these little guys, I'm just going to turn these black. I won't do all of them on camera, that'll just take up time. And then of course the legs and the antenna are black. Okay, I'll just color one leg over here. Okay, now this little section, slate gray, white, and black. There's not a lot of room to put a lot of shadow and highlight in here, so just do your best. Then you can just take white to blend it all together. Okay, the eyes will be black. And I'm just leaving that little part there at the top to go back over that with a paint marker. All of these elements will be black. Here, all of these will be black. So what I want to do next is do the head, and the head is the same as the wings. So the head is light aqua. And we're going to do that down here too. Don't worry about coloring over some of those elements. Then we're going to do slate gray on the sides. Lastly, black on the very sides. Okay, and then we're going to take the light aqua, blend it all together. Oh, this almost looks a little sloppy. I'm sorry, guys. I'm doing it kind of in a hurry. And then we'll take the white over the light aqua just to lighten that a little bit. Okay, this little triangle is black. These little things here are black. So let me go off camera, finish filling in all the black, and then we'll come back with the white highlight. I'll be right back. Okay, all of that's done, and now I'm using an Artistro brush tip water-based pen. I don't know what size this is. I'll try to get that for you guys. I'm trying these out, and I really am happy with how they cover over the, or color over the colored pencil. So I'm just doing the outlines. Then I'll do the circles here at the bottom. I'll do a little dab for the eyes and these three circles here. I think that's all the white. Now what you might do, I came over, after this dried, I came back over with a second coat to make the white a little more opaque. Feel free to do that. That is at your discretion and preference. But yeah, that's all there is to it. So now we've colored a bee. All right, next let's move on to the gemstones. Okay, as I pointed out earlier, the gemstones are kind of echoing the bee colors here. I thought about, like, you know, the next color here would be pink and making this a pink combo for the gemstone, and here the next color would be yellow and making that a yellow gemstone. I could have done that, but that would have really complicated the process, so I just made them all the same to keep it simple. Now what I've done here for you at the bottom of the cheat sheet is I've tried to give you a step-by-step guide on how I colored these in. I'm really good at coloring round gemstones. I'm terrible at coloring faceted gemstones like these are. So I thought, keep it simple, Kim, just color it like a round gemstone. So you can see there's 4 colors: light aqua, true blue, indigo blue, and then sky blue light. Actually 5 colors because there's white. So what we'll do, step 1, is we're going to color the gemstone with light aqua here. Then step 2, we're going to come in with the true blue. You can see I'm coming in right about here and across the top, but I'm not bringing the true blue quite down the sides. Then indigo blue at the very outside. And then what I'll do, this is step 4, I added it as an afterthought, is I'm going to go back, you know, with a second layer with the true blue and light aqua after that. And then at the end, I will blend it all together with sky blue light. So let's see what that looks like. Okay, so we're going to color this one right here. So what I'm going to do, even though this isn't a circle, pretend it's a circle. So I'm going to take, this is the first step 1, the only step 1. This is step 1 in the process, is using the light aqua and just applying light aqua. And again, I'm coming up, I don't know, maybe halfway here. So you're going to end up with like a little football shape kind of thing. Step 2 is to apply the true blue. And I'm probably bringing that about halfway up the light aqua at the bottom. And then up at the top, I'm just kind of making a curve. But again, I'm not putting the true blue in the corners here. You can, it doesn't matter. Indigo blue, and again, this is where I'm going to go kind of dark. So on these, and I've colored all of these in the same direction. So I'm coloring with the indigo blue using this bottom section here. And at the very top, making a little bit of an indigo blue kind of shadow up here. All right, now remember I said we're going to go backwards. This is at step 4. So now we're going to take the true blue and blend it into the indigo. And it's okay if you've lost some of your light aqua at the top. Don't worry about that. Oops, I think my light stand was getting bumped again. I'm sorry about that. Okay, light aqua here. Kind of blending it all together. Lastly, I'm going to take sky blue light, and this will be our blender pencil. And I'm going to blend all of this together. And that makes a really pretty gemstone, I think. Now you could leave it, you could outline the facets with black or use the indigo blue. What I did was I took my white gel pen. Let me get that. I realized I just applied the white highlights that I wasn't recording, so I'm very sorry. So let me try this again. So I'm just doing all the little lines on here. This pen gets a little scratchy, so I'm fighting with it a little bit. Oops, probably too much flow there. That's okay. So these are kind of turning out a little scratchy, but you get the idea of what I'm trying to do here. I might go over that with another gel pen. Okay, we're going to add a sparkle. Let me get another gel pen. I'll be right back. And I'm going to try to add a little sparkle here. I'll start with a little white dot. Then I'll bring up a line. All right, sorry, I had to switch pens. So I'm going to make a little dot here. And make like a long line here. Then a short line, making a little X. So it's probably a fail with this fatter pen. Let me see if I can get this other pen to work better. Let's see if that'll work better. Oh well, you get the idea. I did one up here that looks really good, so enjoy that one. Okay, last thing we're going to do is talk about the gel pen, filling in the outlines for the honeycomb. So let me get those and I'll be right back. Okay, here's the last part, and this is the filling in the outline of the honeycomb. I couldn't decide if I wanted to do golden yellow or hot pink, and then my friend Phaedra suggested why not go pink through orange to yellow. and fade them all together, which I thought was a really fun idea. So that's what I've been doing here. So considering like these 3 to 4 rows down the middle, that's where it's going to transition from pink into orange and then orange down into yellow. So I've started this a little bit, and this is a part where I think you could have fun with it. So you can see here, this is where I filled in a lot of the pink at the top. And then coming into this section here, I'm coming halfway down this line, and then I'm introducing the orange, right? And so then it's just coloring this in. And I've got the 3 gel pen colors listed for you here. This is the Tan Mitt brand. You can use any brand. If you don't have gel pens, you can use any colored pencil combo you want. Just have fun with it. Then you can see down here, so we're bringing the the orange down into maybe this section here. And then I'll start, actually I think I'm mixing this up a little bit, the yellow, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be exact. I think maybe if you are less exact with where your color goes, you'll have more fun with it. But just mixing up like the pink down to the orange, down to the yellow. That's all that you want to do. And so again, this would be orange right up here, maybe. And then pink anywhere above that. I hope that makes sense. So we're just taking the pink gel pen and we're bringing it down into orange, and then the orange comes down, and that's where we start the yellow. So here we've got orange. We're going to just start the yellow, and the yellow will be the rest of the page. Hope that makes sense. But it's pretty easy. And again, you know, I tried to stick to a pattern like only these 3 rows will be orange, but then I messed it up and realized I don't care. I think it looks fine the way I messed it up. So with that, I think that's the end of what I have to present for y'all today. Just as a reminder, this cheat sheet will be available on my Ko-fi account. It's a completely 100% free download. Last time for me to apologize for no pencil conversions on this one, but I hope you enjoy the Prisma combos just the same. And with that, I will see you guys next time, and thank you so much for watching.